This is the Rugby Odds, where an unlikely pundit panel of a wordsmith, a WWE legend, a rugby star, and a supermodel scour the globe, seeking best bets and bad behavior. Are you not entertained?
Welcome back to the Rugby Odds Season 6, Episode 15, but this is going to be our greatest show ever because we have John Bradshaw Layfield, the WWE Hall of Famer turned rugby advocate. Oh wait, no we don't. He's out auditioning for the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. Stay tuned. But we do have King Gift Egbelu, the inventor of words and creator of twins, Lucas Friday's dad, Mike Friday, who happens to be a three-time Olympic sevens coach, and Irish rugby legend George Hook. But before we get to anything else, welcome back, Mike Friday. How was Fiji?
The rugby was magical. The Fijian people, fabulous. The whole week was sensational. And if you ever get the chance to go to the Coral Coast Sevens, it's a life experience, being in and around the people of Fiji. Amazing. Yeah, had a wonderful time.
How did the McDonald's selects do?
We made the semi-final. We had a chance to win that semi-final with the last couple of plays, but Sevu Musuthawangi, who normally catches everything, just fumbled it over the line, and we went out 14-12 in the rain. And the two Fijian village teams that were in the final were box office. I mean, Fiji, the national team, didn't even make it out the group.
Wow.
None of the USA didn't make it out the group. It was nuts. Like, you have no idea how competitive and full on this tournament is. It's absolutely carnage.
Any crowds?
Oh, the crowd. So obviously what they do in the Coral Coast is that it's free entry for all the locals. So the stand is full from morning to night in these weather conditions.
Oh, wow.
3,000-4,000 people there. It sounds like there's 40,000 there. So the two teams that ended up making the final, Raku and the Yarrow Chiefs, they shipped all their village in, both of their villages in, and they were there on that finals day for the semi-finals and the finals. And I mean, it was proper. It was like a 40,000 crowd, even though there were only like 3 or 4
in the rain.
In the pissing down rain. I mean, it wasn't just raining, it's monsoon, right?
Yeah.
You used some of the reels where, people are sliding in and it's just puddles. But that's how it is. You still play creative. You still play with adventure, whether it's rain or shine. Just shows how fanatical the Fijian community are and how loving they are of everybody. I mean, Perry Baker was there for the first time he's been in the islands, and he was adored.
Wait, that was the first time Perry's been to the island?
First time they've got to see him play live.
That's crazy.
And it's a different way of life for him when he was there.
True celebrity status.
100%, yeah.
And Mike, speaking of celebrity status, it's too bad that this tournament wasn't 2 weeks down the road, because then you could have picked up Damien Penaud, who was obviously not good enough for Fabien Gaultier.
I actually, and probably had Gregory Alldritt as well. I mean, I always wanted to see Penaud play in the sevens. I thought he might make himself available for the Olympics when Dupont did, because he would have been unbelievable forward in sevens. Unbelievable he would be.
So you'd put him in the pack?
100%. Fast forward on the edge. His aerial skills. He's fast. He's strong. He's big.
What if he only said I'm playing in the back line?
Well, I would kid him into that and say you are, but they just got to lean down in here. And then you can drop back on the wing.
No, you are my wing. I just need you over here for 1 second.
Yeah, exactly. And at the line out, just stand here. We won't throw it to you, and then just drop back on the wing.
That's great. And Gift, all hail the king. The king was perfect this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. 5-0 with his on-camera picks. Amazing, King. I am on bended knee in front of you.
I mean, even though the world is falling apart and this was kind of a shit week, hey, it's nice to have that little golden beam of light pass through most of it.
Amazing. King, what was the secret? How did you do it?
Thank you, God. That's all I can say right there. All right. I am only the vessel spoken through.
Close your eyes.
Amazing. Amazing. All right. Let's go to our first recurring segment. What caught your eye? Mike Friday, what caught your eye this week?
Man, what's caught my eye is Fabien Gaultier. I mean, what is this man doing to leave out Penaud and Alldritt and Fiku? I mean, Penaud?
Yeah.
I mean, he gets in any other team in the world's wing. And Alldritt, has been the man, the Mr. Consistent for France in the Six Nations for God knows how many years, always plays 80 minutes when he's there. They've got ridiculous depth. He's a mad professor and he's just trying things. But yeah, I mean, that just made
Is
me
there anything that you could see that would lead Galtier to do this?
Not really, no. Not with those two. I mean, and Alldritt's been injured and only just come back, but he is Mr. Consistent. And that's not to say they haven't got an embarrassment of riches in the back row. They have. But you don't leave him out of the squad because he's a good person to have about the building. He's given you everything that he's got so far. 100%. I mean, you know, let's see what unfolds. But yeah, that made me sit up and double take.
Did you lose sleep?
Not really. I mean, I'm jet lagged, but
Gift.
Yeah, man, this was definitely an interesting week, and you definitely know that there's three things that you can always guarantee is going to almost exist every single time. South African teams are going to absolutely smash each other to death. The French will never play well on the road in professional, and forever F ice.
All right, all good, but I gotta take exception with one of them, and it's not the one you think I'm going to take exception with. It's Stade Francais would argue with you that they play on the road, baby. They beat Bordeaux at home. Come on.
Them and Toulouse are simply the exceptions to the rule. They're simply the exceptions to the rule.
Bordeaux plays well on the road.
But I think Bordeaux just down tools because Penaud wasn't picked.
Could be.
They went French at home.
It seemed like every play that he got the ball, he felt like he had to score 5 tries on every time, right? It had to be in his head. And still, they had their opportunities to win, but take your caps off to Stade Francais. So I had a number of things that caught my eye. We had the upset of Bordeaux in Bordeaux. Both teams were playing tag defense. It was ridiculous, especially in the second half. The South African teams went without a loss on the road. And I know we're getting creative here because it was a draw between the Ospreys and the Lions in Wales. And you had the Stormers at home hosting the Sharks. So the Sharks were on the road. A little play on words there. Also, 54K for that match. But up in Ireland, in Connacht, they unveiled Dexcom, and George Hook is going to talk about this later. Connacht's refurbished version of the sports ground. 12,500 people jammed into that jewel of a little park now. And then finally, Glasgow, now on top of the table in the URC with the big win. They held on. The loss by the Stormers ruined their perfect record and cost them first place. All right, we've taken a lot of time, and it's my fault, but we got to move on, and we're going to go to our Player of the Week. And the nominees are Noah Calouri, the winger for Saracens, 4 tries all over the field, just an amazing performance, something that we're kind of getting used to seeing with him. Finn Russell of Bath, the number 10 was in the middle of the game's biggest moments, great hands, pouncing on a Gloucester mistake for a crucial try, and then great from the tee as well. The vintage Finn Russell that we haven't seen that much this season. Nick Thompkins, the number 12 for Sarries, 1 try and assisted for 2 tries, 60 tough yards rushing. Mike Friday, who's your Player of the Week?
I'm going for the young kid. 4 tries up at the Red Bulls. I mean, they did a proper demolition job, but he's there to finish. And Calouri finished 4 times. He's top try scorer in the Prem now. He's a young man. He's still got plenty to learn, but he's potent. And he's my Player of the Week.
Gift.
You got to give it over to Finn Russell. I mean, it's nice to see him back in action, coming back in full form. Give it to him on that.
I agree with you, Gift. Calouri had a great game, but the Red Bulls are not exactly one of the top franchises. And you've got Finn Russell playing like Finn Russell again. Great to see that. He was a magician. I'm going with the King, Mike. I apologize. And with that, Finn Russell is this week's Player of the Week. Now we shift to Gift's favorite segment, Grown Ass Man. The nominees are Josh Bayliss, the number 6 of Bath, all-round physical game, hard-nosed, inspired play, earned Player of the Match. R.G. Snyman, Leinster's lengthy lock, started and coasted a bit in the first half, but a little extracurricular activity poked the bear, and he was a force of nature in the second half in Leinster's comeback win over Connacht. Same match, Sean Jansen, the battering ram, number 8, was Connacht's Rocky Balboa to Leinster's Apollo Creed, smashing people and leaving everything on the pitch at the new Dexcom. Mike, who's your grown-ass man?
Well, I'm going for the Yeti. I think Snyman gets it. I think going away to Connacht, a lot of razzmatazz, opening a new stadium. He's been the bear has been poked, as you said, and then he's woken up, and the Yeti's come alive and done a job. And he was he is a proper grown-ass man. I mean, he's bloody huge. No doubt. So he's my man. I think Snyman, the Yeti, did a job. Grown-ass man. Is him.
Gift.
Yeah, look, man, I think these are some really great picks that we have right here. And but I gotta put it for the Scarlets on this one. Ellis Me. All right, I'm throwing in the in there. Ellis Me, final play, game-winning score, cut the tackle, up for the long try. That was an incredible one for a team that I have zero hope ever for, and they surprised me over an Irish team, and that's all that matters. Giving it up for their brothers over with the Dragons, all right? They weren't able to finish it up against Munster. They did it against Ulster. An Irish team was made vengeance of with that. So, Ellis Me, boom.
You make a great point. You've a great pitch. You're a great salesman, but that, I'm going with the coach. I'm going with R.G. Snyman. He is every bit the grown-ass man. R.J. Snyman or Snyman.
Grown-ass man!
All right, we're going to take a break. Let George come in for a bit and then come back to you guys for picks after this.
If you're in New York City and want to watch some great rugby, have some great food, and some great times, go to the world's best rugby pub, the Pig and Whistle on West 36th Street.
And we're back again with Mr. George Hook calling in from Ireland. George, how are you?
I'm good, and always good to speak to you.
Thank you, sir. We don't have a lot of time, but we do have some good stuff for you to talk about in our recurring segment.
Headlines with Hook.
First headline, Galtier snubs Penaud.
Well, that's a typical media reaction from you, if I may say so. The French have a history of changing their teams when the rest of us don't think they will. But however, when you look at it, Penaud's a bad season. Hasn't scored a lot of tries. His defence has been suspect. But what else has Galtier done? He hasn't selected Gregory Alldritt, number 8, outstanding back row forward over the last 5-10 seasons. He hasn't picked Gael Fico, outstanding centre, last 5-10 seasons. So, Penaud, yes, but it's not just about Penaud. This is, to quote a very English phrase, the changing of the guard. There's some really good guys coming in. The most interesting guy for me, of course, is Trevor Brennan, capped 13 times for Ireland, now an owner of a pub in the south of France. His son, Joshua, has just been drafted into the French squad, which is also interesting. It's now 60 years ago, but they used to pick teams by committee. Not that there wasn't a coach, the committee picked team. The French committee picked a team in the 60s, okay? Announced it, and the French Rugby Union said, we don't like it. Go back into your meeting room and pick a better team. So the French have...
Pick the winning team.
Yeah, the French have always done it differently. So I just think Penaud, Alldritt and Fico are an indication of strength in depth in France, which we in Ireland don't have.
Some of those folks out there that might be watching this would address your or counter your cliche about changing of the guard with, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, but Farrell has stuck with the guys he knows. He hasn't made any changes. Now, the problem for him is he's had enforced injury changes and he hasn't got the depth to cover it. But the French have always been like this. I mean, don't think this is like 2026. It was probably like this in 1926.
Fair point. Fair point. All right. Next headline: Dexcom, a game changer for Connacht.
No. Horse manure. Absolute horse manure. Okay? Dexcom is a stadium, I would remind you. It is not a team or players. It's bricks and mortar. Now, you're speaking to a former Connacht coach whose team played in that very stadium. Remember, this stadium's primary purpose is a Greyhound stadium.
Yes,
and
yes.
If you see some aerial pictures, you can still see the Greyhound track running around it. Because there's more Greyhound running going on there than there is rugby union. Now, to suggest that a stadium will make the team better is nonsense. 12,500 people packed into that stadium, no spare tickets. When I coached Connacht over 20 years ago, less than 10% of that number would have watched it. Will 12,500 people turn up the next time if they don't win? I mean, that was a pretty special event. I'm delighted. Look, I'm a former Connacht coach. I've still got the blazer hanging in my locker.
And you're wearing a green shirt.
So, I mean, it's fabulous. Don't forget, just over 20 years ago, it was a protest march down Lansdowne Road because the Irish Rugby Football Union were threatening to cancel Connacht.
Yeah, but George, how about those that are saying it's not just the stadium, it's the state-of-the-art facilities that come with that upgrade that will attract players?
Well, we're seeing some of that. We're seeing some movement of players towards Connacht.
Your man Frawley.
They're fine, but they will always be sucking the hind tit. And they
Are we allowed to use that? I think we can keep it.
Okay, very good. But yes, we have a Connacht that is vibrant and strong and competitive. But don't get carried away by the stadium.
Well, you know me. I get carried away so easily. So
that is true.
Before I float away, let's get another headline in. Munster slayed the Dragon, but barely.
Well, look, Munster in trouble. This is my province. This is the province I grew up with as a child. The red shirt I wore as a kid. Like, Munster have lost all their games prior to this in the European Championship, so they're in the Challenge Cup. If they couldn't beat the Dragons haven't won a match away from home since John F. Kennedy was in the White House. So there was a moment where the Dragons scored a try, which would have put them 28 instead of 13-8, and then Munster probably go back and score a try.
Yeah.
So it was nip and tuck.
So you're okay with everything staying status quo with Munster right now in terms of coaching?
Oh, yeah. McMillan's a good guy. A good guy. Personally, I'd like to see 4 Irish coaches coaching 4 provinces instead of 1 Irish coach at Ulster, Richie Murphy. I'd prefer to see some Irish coaches, but
I got to ask you. I know I'm getting yelled at because we're way over time, but how about Mark McCall coming back to Ireland?
He won't come back. Same as O'Gara won't come back. Poisoned chalices are not on the menu for these guys.
On that note, another stellar
headlines with Hook.
Thank you, Mr. George Hook.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with Mike and Gift after this. Don't go away.
You need your cleats? You need them tomorrow? If you order today by 3 p.m. New York time or noon LA time, they can have them to you tomorrow. Young, old, male, female, if you're playing on turf, if you're playing on grass, if you're playing in the rain, you're playing in the heat, they've got you covered. RugbyNow.com. Go there now. From New York City comes America's longest-running and most popular rugby show. The biggest names in Major League Rugby, MLR highlights, and big match previews. Rugby Wrap-Up presents MLR Weekly, made in New York City.
It's 2026! Different year, new opportunity, and where does that start with? Your health. Health Enhanced Food is here to be able to make sure you get on the right path. We got 17 baking mixes just to be able to help you set you on your proper pathway. Whether you're taking it from the spectrum of ketosis, needing keto diet, gluten-free, or you need something more serious because you're diabetic, have renal failure, it's time to bake yourself into the best form that you ever have been. Head to healthenhancedfoods.com, use code RugbyOdds to be able to get 25% off your first order. And of course, Matt, no, just stop talking. Guys, stop him.
Guys, I just wanted to do a little housekeeping, a little update on the schedule for you in terms of what we're facing. And with that, World Rugby and the powers that be, according to some reports on various outlets, are going to be trying to hammer out a global rugby calendar during the Six Nations. But in the meantime, we still have this absolute mess to navigate. Take notes. The Premiership is off this week and doesn't come back until March 20th. The URC and Top 14 are back. However, Japan Rugby League 1 has a bye weekend for the D1 teams. For the pro teams out of the URC, the Premiership, and Top 14, some of their best players will be gone for the Six Nations because they'll be in Six Nations camp. And again, don't worry, they're just the team's best players. It gets better. The URC will go dark after this weekend, joining the Premiership for 3 weeks for the aforementioned Six Nations, which kicks off on February 5th. That's a Thursday night game, yet they don't have a game on Friday or Friday night and play again on Saturday twice. Absolutely ridiculous. The Top 14 actually plays during the Six Nations with matches on February 8th, and I don't know who's playing for those teams. The three of us might want to bring our cleats. The URC has that split round quirk with all teams playing the weekend of February 27th, and then not playing matches again until the weekend of the 13th of March for just 3 matches. And again, the Premiership doesn't come back until March 20th.
There's a reason why broadcasters should be making schedules, because whenever you allow the teams or these programs to do it themselves, there's no rhyme or reason to this. The storytelling doesn't make sense. It does make now the championship games feel a little less important, and I get there's these spacings for these all-star team matches, but like between Investac and Six Nations is, grandfathered in, so I can understand that. But what you did with Investac, now this push on the Premiership and URC, like who can take any finals serious?
I don't understand that opening Six Nations game on a Thursday night and then nothing on the Friday night. I mean, I think that kind of just sums up the nuts, really. I mean, all of this Premiership on and off, Top 14 on off, URC on off. Just stop it. Let the Six Nations play, then start it again. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, they just need to block tournaments so that you get to a kind of a natural climax, even if you just nail all the pool games. And then you stop and then you go back to your domestic tournament, and then you have the knockout games for the European Cup. And then just make Six Nations every week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
But Thursday, nothing on a Friday, 2 on a Saturday, nothing on a Sunday. I mean, run me by that. That's not, I mean, the worst thing is they'll play a week after, right? And 2 teams will be playing Ireland and France, who will have a 9-day turnaround. And one team, and then you'll have all that bullshit as well. So it's not going to make money, right? And that's what you need. As Giff said, storytelling is everything.
All right, so let's go to what we have in front of us, and that's the URC not having their international stars. Glasgow is now on top, but they'll not have any of their stars, so they'll probably drop to second with a loss this week. Mike, who's your pick?
Well, I think the reality is I've got to look at the meaningful games, which will be the South African teams, I think, because at least now we think they'll play. I'm going to take the Bulls. I think they'll do a job on the road and they'll beat the Lions and they'll cover the spread.
Mike, man, South African teams are the only teams that I actually care are going to do anything. Sharks had a great game against the Stormers this past week, which means the Stormers are going to return to favor on the road again, but we'll get the win over the Sharks, which means beating the spread.
I'm going to take the upstart Dragons on the road to make it really tough on the Ospreys at 6.5 points. But I'm going to regret that. I know it. Top 14, Mike. Who do you like in the top 14?
Poe to win at home on the pretense that Montoya is going to be playing. I need Montoya to be playing. I need my talisman playing for Poe. But I think Poe will beat Toulon at home. And by more than 4.5.
Off of my blind pick and my finger pointed, shout out to the man above. I'm going to go Stade Francais on the road to completely negate what I said earlier about French teams. Stade Francais, shoot the wrist, man.
How far back do we have to go for Stade Francais to win 2 consecutive road games? We're going to find out. I'm going with Racing 92 because Mike Friday told me off camera that they didn't lose a lot of players and Perpignan sucks. Yeah, but maybe you said in French, so I might be misconstruing your French. Japan Rugby League 1 has a bye week, but a couple of things came out of some exciting action last week. The Wild Knights, who John picked again and is now 3-0 with the Wild Knights, held on for dear life against GIF's Suntory Goliath in a 31-30 thriller, and they grabbed first place.
Mine?
Yeah, yours. And they grabbed first place as the Brave Lupus, my Brave Lupus, knocked off previously unbeaten the Kubota Spears, who Mike Friday loves.
Spears. They're not loose tires.
That's right.
Kubota Spears.
Thank you, Gift. Thank you, King, for correcting me. It is the Spears, and I apologize to all of you out there for that. All right, we're at that time, John's favorite time of the show. Picks of the week. Mike Friday, who's your pick of the week?
I am going for La Rochelle. I think they lose a couple of boys in the forwards, but they've got a lot of players and overseas players still available. And I think they'll do a proper job on Lyon at home, and they'll cover their spread of 9.5. La Rochelle for me.
Gift.
Yeah, look, I'm going back into the South Africa rematches. Lions, Blue Bulls. This is going to be a game that's going to be over under, I think, 60. I think it will go a little over 60 points combined.
Wow.
And we're looking at probably a vengeance back by the Bulls to get this one because I don't think they're very happy about their results last literally 2 weeks ago.
A track meet you're going for, right?
Apparently they forget how to play defense, and they're just like, hey, let's see who's going to just outscore the others vis-a-vis 2018 Chiefs versus Rams.
All right, I'm going to go to the depleted Benetton side versus Scarlets in Italy, and I think it's going to be a track meet. Nobody's tackling over 60 points. And on that note, we are out of time. I want to thank you guys, especially John Bradshaw Layfield in his absence, the rugby advocate / WWE Hall of Famer, King Gift Egbelu, inventor of words, creator of twins, Lucas Friday's father, Mike Friday, back from Fiji, the three-time Olympic sevens coach, and Irish rugby legend George Hook. And thank you for tuning in. Please check out MLR Weekly with GM of the Chicago Hounds, Will McGee. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube, sign up for our weekly newsletter, and please join our American Red Cross blood donor team.